Hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the weekly update with Oakwood Financial Group. I'm Joshua Dobi. Thank you again for your willingness to use this medium as a means for me to relay to you just our thoughts and observations here during this time of COVID-19. Also, just a quick public service announcement. We've been doing these every week for quite some time now. We're going to start to space them out to every 2 weeks. It seems as though the initial shock from a market and an economic standpoint has worked its way through the system. Still a very long road to go. But in terms of the newness of it and the pertinent information that we feel like we can share with you, it seems like that on a weekly basis we may be overdoing it a little bit. So we're going to try it. We're going to move it back out to 2 weeks in terms of how often we're communicating with you in this way. If things shift, we'll come back to weekly. And certainly if you would ever like to chat with us about anything, never hesitate to reach out and to call or to email. I always enjoy hearing from you, whether we're talking about the markets or something that may be a little bit more interesting. But thank you again for your willingness to be here. Let's dive right into it. Unemployment claims this week continue their trend down. Now, again, we have to take a look at that in context relative to what normal unemployment claims are. But it's certainly good to see the trend for new claims coming down. The continuing claims still on pretty even ground, meaning those folks who have been in the system and are continuing to receive benefits flattened out for the last couple of weeks. We had a big reduction in those, though, a couple of weeks ago. That was very good to see, and hopefully we see that trend continue. Market-wise, it's a very positive week as of the time of this recording. And while that's good, and we're thankful for that, it's happened very, very quickly. And just watching markets over the last 25 years without getting into technical indicators too much, we wouldn't be surprised as we're going through this repricing and this resettling process if we would continue to have in the short run here some negative volatility. Now, as we're looking out over the long run, absolutely no concern whatsoever, and our ability to rebound from where things have been. However, in the short run, because of those lows that we hit on March 23rd and almost done a quick V out, not quite back up to where we were, but certainly a huge amount of movement that has happened in this time. Very, very common for us to have some negative volatility as we're, again, continuing through this resettling process. So just want to make you aware, those are the kinds of things that we're watching. From a personal standpoint, if you are a small business owner, this is big, and it's just made its way through Congress last night as of the time of this recording. It's on its way to the president's desk, so it's not official yet in terms of its implementation into law, but some significant adjustments to the P3 or Payroll Protection Program for small business owners. If you are a small business owner, several things are going to adjust in a positive way for you, assuming that the president signs this bill into law. Among them, the amount that you need to spend of your P3 loan being reduced from 75% to 60% gives you some more flexibility in terms of how you can use the funds. The time frame in which you need to use that for payroll looks like it's going to be extended from 8 weeks out to 24 weeks and even to possibly the end of calendar year 2020. So again, a lot more flexibility in terms of how you can use those proceeds and still qualify for loan forgiveness, which obviously is a very, very big deal. So keep an eye on that. We'll probably come at you with a news or an email blast if we haven't done it already, and keep you updated on those particulars. But specifically for our small business owners, I want you to be very aware of that. And then from a flexibility standpoint, the time frame, if you just wanted to take those proceeds from the P3 program as a small business owner, and instead of using them for payroll or other things, you just wanted to use it as a small business loan, you still can do that. And that time frame for repayment has been extended from 2 to 5 years. Again, assuming that the president signs the bill into law. Very, very big deal. It's only 1% interest. Again, for up to 5 years in paying that loan back. So very, very big factors if you have applied. If you haven't applied, there still is approximately $100 billion left in the program. Hard even to imagine that number until you think about how much we've actually pushed through the program already in terms of the several hundred billion that we have. Something to keep in mind as well, if you haven't applied and you think you may want to apply as a small business owner, right now, deadline is the end of June. So you want to make sure to connect with your banker. You're always welcome to reach out to us. And while we don't fund those loans or take those applications, we're happy to coordinate with your banker and help you along that process along the way. So several big things that are moving along, again, from a personal standpoint. You've also heard us talk about the HEROES Act. That was that gargantuan bill that moved through Congress here a couple of weeks ago. $3 trillion. Can't even begin to understand the number of zeros that go into that. But $3 trillion in terms of additional relief put out to families and individuals. That moved easily through the House. It was dead on arrival when it hit the Senate, which was pretty much expected. But there's been significant amount of negotiation between the Senate and the House about some compromise bill. And then even today, as of the time of this recording, the White House put out that they would like to consider something in the $1 trillion range relative to a relief package, the next iteration of a relief package, again, primarily for individuals and families. They're still in negotiation. Now they're using some of the public press to negotiate as well, in addition to their private settings. There's still going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of horse trading that's going to happen before we get something that moves through both houses of Congress that the president is willing to sign. Stay tuned. We're going to keep you updated on that. As those things develop, we'll certainly relay those kinds of items to you. So as we talked about during these kinds of times when we've been sharing videos with you, just like a good preacher, whenever we're done speaking with what we have to say, we're just going to sit down. So we're going to do that right now. But before I do, please let me relay a word of thanks again for your willingness to be a part of this in terms of our information relayed to you. Never hesitate to reach out via email or phone. I always enjoy hearing from you. Thank you so much, folks. And until the next time, I'll look forward to chatting with you soon.